So all month long, we've been talking directly to people who experience same-sex desires. But maybe that's not your experience. Maybe you're just trying to figure out the best way to respond in a changing world. When it comes to those responses, we've seen there tend to be like two key errors. Error number one is that love requires wielding truth like a hammer. And error number two would be that authentic love means hiding truth's challenge. So in error number one, wielding truth like a hammer, people can be so bold in their proclamation that they tend to inflict shame on other people. And we can kind of see this in commentators who really just focus on politicizing the experience or decrying an ideology. So why is this problematic? Okay, imagine this scenario. At your church, you do talk about same-sex attraction, but only when you're condemning the latest movements of gay activists. And there's a kid in the pews, he's 14 years old, and all he really knows is that he's not entirely sure about what he's feeling and he just wants to be loved. But the only thing he's hearing from you is that he's part of something wrong. Maybe that he himself is wrong. And error number two, right, hiding truth's challenge, it's almost like you're so conscious of another person's shame that you take it upon yourself to fix it. And we see this in commentators who might emphasize welcoming and acceptance, but then are really vague or unclear about what the church teaches about the human person and what that means for the expression of sexual desire. Why is this problematic? Because at some point, that person is going to butt up against the rest of the catechism. They're going to have to make decisions about how they want to live. So hiding the truth from me or implying something false isn't charity. So how do we avoid these errors? So the first error, remember the least among you. In Matthew 25, Jesus says that whatever you do to the least among you, you do for him and to him. The Catholic Church echoes this in her social teaching, which prioritizes the needs of the poor and seeks to empower the marginalized. There are people in your church community who experience same-sex desires. They might be in the minority, but according to Christ and his church, that means that they require more of your pastoral concern, not less. So in our efforts to proclaim the truth, we shouldn't be making people feel alien or other, putting them to shame for desires they didn't even choose to experience. And to the second error, proclaim the full gospel. In a sermon, St. Augustine said that if you accept what you like about the gospels and you reject what you don't like, it's not the gospels that you believe, but yourself. The Christian sexual ethic is part of a broader tapestry about what it means to be human. And as a church, we need to be honest about all of it. So we need to be unashamed in proclaiming God's love for his people, all of his people. We need to be unashamed in offering welcome and hospitality, particularly to those on the margins. And we need to be unashamed at talking about what true human flourishing is. And all the doctrines, including the ones about sexuality, that go along with that. Are the implications of these doctrines challenging? Yes. Do they require nuance in their explanation? Yes. But the joy of the gospel is the joy of the full gospel.